to Salt Talk. My name is McClendon. Today's topic is, how do you overcome your addiction, your lust? The Bible uses the word lust rather than addiction, but it essentially means the same thing, or at least they convey the same concept. Lust or addiction is when there is a strong, uncontrollable desire, and it influences the way you think, feel, and behave. Addiction will cause you to give up something valuable in exchange for something less valuable. The fact that the person is aware of this value discrepancy, giving more for less, and makes the exchange anyway, supports the notion that they have an addiction or a lust problem. For example, you claim you value freedom and spending time with family. At the same time, you sell drugs, and your rationale is, I have to support my family so they can have food, clothes, shelter, etc. However, selling drugs is illegal, and if you get caught, you will lose the things you claim you value: freedom and time with family. So in essence, you risk exchanging freedom and spending time with family, what is more valuable, for money, something of a lesser value, to take care of your family, and your hope is that you won't get caught. Can you see the uneven value exchange? It's tricky, but it's supposed to be. You can't highly value freedom, then break the law by selling drugs, because breaking the law is a direct threat to your freedom. You see, the deceiving thought people have is that you can have the best of both worlds, and you will never get caught or experience harsh consequences. Sometimes the delay of your consequences can deceive you into believing your consequences will never come or they won't be that bad. However, anytime you can rationalize doing wrong for a good reason means you are a victim of deception. There is deception in addiction and lust. How are you deceived? You're deceived because if you knew with certainty, which no one does, you would experience very costly consequences for doing wrong, you probably wouldn't do it. But because you believe for some special reason you won't experience costly consequences, you are being deceived, because the truth is you will eventually experience some sort of consequence. This is called the unique person stance, which is when you think you have a special ability to not experience the same consequences of others, although you perform the same actions as others, such as thinking you are the only one who can drive drunk and not get into a car accident. The unique person stance is an inaccurate way of thinking, aka deception. And when you are deceived, you give something of greater value in exchange for something of lesser value. And you do this either consciously or subconsciously. For instance, you drive drunk and risk your driver's license rather than spending $15 or $20 on an Uber. And usually reality does not kick in until after the consequence, which is evident that before the consequence, you were lost in deception. Satan is called the father of lies for a reason. He's an expert at deceiving people. The Bible calls Satan and his works the mystery of iniquity, 2 Thessalonians 2:17. Lust and addiction distort your perception of reality, which allows you to live with a false and deceptive mindset, which only seems true to you and others like you. Now for the good stuff you have been waiting on. How do you overcome your addiction, your lust? Watch the second half of this message for the full answer to this question.